All right, finally get a review on Skull and Bones. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, bro. Y'all gonna leave my beloved Skull and Bones alone, man. Look, bro, I watched all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies with my wife just so I can play this game. I don't care if it's like the great value version of Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, naval combat system. I don't care, bro. I'm gonna live my life as a pirate, one day at a time, on the sea. It's gonna happen, off stream, but don't worry about that, man. Hey, I'm playing it. I didn't buy it though, just to say I know. I got it on Ubisoft Plus.
After years adrift, Skull and Bones has finally actually found its way to launch. 6 separate delays might make you understandably apprehensive about Ubisoft's long-brewing pirate game.
I don't even care, man.
After spending over 60 hours hoisting sails and swabbing decks, I've had a yo-ho whole lot of co-op fun. The 17th century Indian Ocean works well as a vast open world to be explored and plundered. The RPG mechanics are briny deep with opportunities for build crafting, and the naval combat is consistently entertaining. Predictably, there are still some major concerns common with always online games nowadays, including performance issues and bugs aplenty, as well as a very small list of endgame activities that become monotonous and grindy. Skull and Bones might not be the quadruple A man-o'-war Ubisoft was hoping for just yet, but for having a year of upcoming content mapped out, it's already quite seaworthy.
Yeah, buddy, they definitely make you do some traveling, though, I'll tell you that much.
Skull and Bones is fairly unique in the scheme of open-world RPGs, letting you sail the ocean in search of loot and infamy. Alone or alongside the ships of up to 2 friends as a fleet, you'll gather resources and complete action-packed heists to feed your greed and power up your vessel, which is usually a blast.
Oh, God.
Though it might be tempting to compare this online ocean to Sea of Thieves, Skull and Bones actually has more in common with the Forza Horizon series. They're both over-the-top arcadey open-world RPGs where you play as a vehicle, except instead of racing cars with friends, you're committing piracy in boats. And that laser focus on intricate maritime gameplay and commodity simulation is extremely enjoyable most of the time.
And I'm cool with it. I get it.
Even if you never get to swing a sword or fire a flintlock like in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. While it's a bit odd at first that you only ever explore the world by controlling your ship, aside from brief intermissions at the social hub, it took just a few hours for me to feel like I wasn't missing out on much. 'Cause I mean, boats are fun.
Bare bones.
Disappointingly, Skull and Bones only has the faintest whiff of a story. You have some conversations with a couple pirate legends.
He taunts me like I'm a caged animal and I've got the urge to bite.
Run a few missions for them that conclude in a boss fight against a particularly mean boat.
I just want to blow up some stuff, man, make me a cool ship.
Then they tell you to buzz off and do your own thing
have a cool
just as fast. NPCs are little more than vendors and quest dispensers with no substantial story connecting them.
Use force or underhanded means to secure more manufactories and put them to your use.
I expect my pirate games to have a bit of drama, infighting, and betrayal, but Skull and Bones doesn't even attempt to tell a tale of any substance or consequence. Instead, ship-to-ship PvE combat is the star of the show, and it requires strategy, cooperation with other player-controlled vessels, and good aim to pull off at higher levels. For example, when taking on powerful fleets found in later areas, you might want to reconfigure your ship to a tank build optimized for withstanding hits and dealing close-range damage, while your friends focus on DPS or even support options capable of healing allies by peppering them with nonsensically medicinal cannonballs.
These days, like everything's cool with friends,
Crafting new ships and trying out different builds is extremely compelling. Just when I thought I'd built my ideal vessel, I'd see a special cannon or a unique piece of ship armor I just couldn't live without, then gleefully jump through surprisingly rewarding hoops by attacking certain factions and seeking out rare resources to buy a schematic and craft it. For example, I spent many hours and tons of resources to craft my first mortar, which unlocked the ability to rain fire from the sky on my enemies like I was calling in an airstrike. Sure, doing so forced me to spend every last scrap of my ill-gotten riches, but can you really put a price on this?
Oh, yeah.
As you
Ramming
dive
everything,
into
bro.
the end game, the builds that open up get downright wild, and you can unlock a ship-mounted flamethrower that spews ghostly blue flames.
I'm almost to the point where I can give me a bigger
ship,
ship, bro. Because the ship I got right now is like, alright.
Crazy stuff.
But these boys really been leveling up. The dude said he got 60 hours in
Once
already.
you've established
Dang.
yourself on the high seas a bit,
play too many
you'll
games
also
to have
begin
60 hours in
understand
any
both
game right
trade
now.
routes and the supply and demand they influence in different parts of the world, which adds an interesting economy management mini-game to the mix. You'll even gain access to the black market via the Helm, a clever endgame mechanic that allows you to build and manage underworld businesses by creating and delivering embargoed goods, like good ol' opium. This opens up a whole
This
new
man
way to
said
line
good
your
old
pockets
opium.
as you
Really?
ferry legitimate and illegitimate goods to and fro, buying low in one place and selling high in another, like a pirate with a bachelor's degree in business. Yar, we be looking for that ROI. Later on, you can even conquer coastal settlements to convert them into manufactories that generate passive income and help you obtain the most powerful equipment. Before I knew it, I suddenly found myself playing Pirate SimCity, or as I like to call it, SimCT, as I managed lumberyards and farming settlements, which
Ain't
is
wrong
a
with that,
great
bro.
playground for the endgame grind. That's because, in order to add settlements to your collection, you'll need to participate in Skull and Bones' endgame events, which include PvP activities which don't appear until later on, adding a neat new wrinkle to things right as they start to feel stale with the overwhelmingly PvE foundation.
And my homies, they didn't want to play no Skull and Bones, man. They be tripping, bro.
These isolated PvP
I'm on it,
events
though.
are a nice compromise from having griefers constantly attack everyone all the time, since you've got to opt into each of them, but the reward is usually worth the trouble. When they work properly, that is, and unfortunately, they often don't. Bugs are obnoxiously common, like one where incorrect markers get put all over the map. During one PvP event, Skull and Bones crashed entirely, and the loot I was carrying was nowhere to be found when I logged back in.
Wow.
Issues like these are pretty rampant once you reach the endgame, and they'll continue to throw a massive wet sail over the whole thing until they get addressed. Even when these events are working, the endgame is needlessly grindy in its current state. Skull and Bones doesn't have nearly enough variety in its activities to keep things interesting for very long. Since it costs
we know.
thousands of gold coins to unlock single items, you're expected to play a whole heck of a lot long after the campaign has sunk to the bottom of the sea. There aren't currently any quests or enemies in the world that require those powerful items to defeat either, aside from other players in specific events. Hopefully, the upcoming seasonal content will provide actual reasons to want them, but Ubisoft would also need to add a lot more activities to keep that grind interesting, because right now, all you can do is repeat the same handful of tasks, then shuttle your loot from each settlement back to the base ad nauseum.
It is not always about whose ship has the biggest cannons in her belly.
Although it's not particularly unique in the live service space, Skull and Bones is extremely unstable right now too. I had crashes every couple of hours, pixelated textures that loaded right in front of me, and
That's
most
crazy, 'cause
irritating
I
of all,
haven't
constant
at all.
erroneous notifications popping up every couple of seconds, sometimes repeatedly for hours at a time, clogging up the screen with obnoxious and inaccurate warnings that drove me absolutely up the wall. I still enjoyed most of my time lobbing explosives at unsuspecting merchant vessels, but shiver me timbers, that exasperating layer of jank really made it harder to love.
All right, let's see what we get, man. Come on. Don't give us me
Skull and
straight, Doc.
Bones isn't the successor to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag that many seem to want.
Yeah,
And it isn't
nobody
many
wanted
of the
what this
things
was.
Ubisoft itself said it
But I
would be
still
at
like it.
various points in its storied development. But the seafaring RPG we ultimately got is still surprisingly good. Sailing around the Indian Ocean firing cannons, mortars, and giant ballista at your foes is a fun time. The RPG mechanics and cooperative build crafting is as deep as the ocean, with plenty of awesome gadgets to grind for. And the economy simulation is impressively in depth. It doesn't quite fulfill the promise of a decade-long cruise to port yet either, with a thin endgame, almost no story to speak of, and general instability that sometimes makes the adventure feel like a rough draft. But here's hoping some of those shortcomings can be washed away by the waves of content already planned to come in an ambitious live service roadmap that's fast approaching. For now, its
7?
maiden voyage is a
I'll
good
take that.
start.
I could
For
take that,
more,
man.
check out our reviews of Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, man. I thought they were gonna say something like a 4 or something. I'm just being real with y'all. Cause the way everybody been cutting up about Skull and Bones, man, I swear it was about to get like a good 3 or a 4, something like that. I mean, remember Days Gone got a 1. Oh, did he get a 1? Yeah, they got a 1 or a 0 or something. I don't know. But damn, I got scared for a minute, bro. I'll take that 7 though, cause I know the game can be that bad the way everybody keep talking about it, man. If you paid for it and you hated it, of course it's gonna be bad. Bad for you, bad for everything, bad for your pockets. Like me, you ain't paid for it, you just got the game. I mean, it ain't hurting me none. I love spending my time on a nice little pirate ship. But yeah, y'all, there we go. Got that good old 7 out of 10. Something I didn't expect, but I'm happy it got that though. Maybe more people who trust IGN will just get into the game and actually have fun instead of just you know, having other people's opinions in the back of their mind while playing the game and messing up the fun for themselves and whatnot. This is Skull and Bones review. Got a good 7 out of 10. Until next time, baby.